And I said, I'm laughing because you haven't earned what you have. She said, what do you mean? I said, you have received elevation and you have received prominence, and you've come into success without process, and it will destroy you. Whenever you come into prominence and into influence, into elevation and relevance without process, you don't have the capability, the stamina, and the shock absorbers to handle it. Listen, blessing comes with weight, and it can sink you. And Peter had what he wanted, that he toiled for all night, that he had never had before. And yet when it came, his net and his boat couldn't handle it. He had to call for others to come and help. And even when the others joined him, all of their boat began to sink. So be careful what you call blessing. Don't be too excited about being blessed. Don't be too excited about becoming big and trending and becoming huge. Be more excited about process and about developing character. Are you hearing me, somebody? Because you see, character will give you longevity. Gifts doesn't give longevity. And anointing and gifting, that is one mistake I made over the years. I was into giftings and anointing until I realized that gifts and anointing upon, that when the gift and the anointing that is upon you is bigger than the character and the anointing within you, you are in trouble. Because the gift and the anointing upon is for ministry, but the gift and the anointing within develops character for longevity. And if you don't have character, you won't last. So I have come to a place, numbers, money, material gains don't impress me anymore. What impresses me is we are still talking. And it's not that our relations have not been tested. It's been tested, and it will be tested to go to another level. But after 40 years, we are still talking. Tell somebody, if Jesus tarries, you and I will still be talking after 40 years. Put your hands together and give God praise. Rejoicing in tribulation. Why? Because tribulation worketh patience.
And patience experience.
And patience experience.
And experience hope.
And experience hope.
And hope maketh not ashamed.
And by hope you despise shame. Yeah.
Because the love
when you have an expectation of what the future has for you, which is Jeremiah 9:29-11, that God has planned good for you and not evil, and has planned an expected end for you, that it doesn't matter what the enemy does, you will end well. Yes, I say, I will end well. I will end well. That is hope. When you have this hope by experience in you, it doesn't matter what's going on, and it doesn't matter how bad it looks. You despise the shame. There are things I am not ashamed about, because I know in whom I have believed, and I am persuaded that God is able to turn it around, as long as my faith doesn't go under. And I believe God, I will not fail the test. Whatever test is it that I have to go through to get to another level, I will not fail it. Say yes. Look at Genesis 22:13. Look at Genesis 22:13.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. You see, God was not interested in Isaac. God said, Abraham, the way the rules of engagement works, I want to take you to another level. I want you to have additional blessing. And from addition, I want to move you to multiplication. And I want to give you transgenerational blessing. But before I do that, you have to go to the exam room. You got to go to exam room.
You have to pass the test. Your faith must pass this test. And God said, I don't really need your son. I've made provision for the sacrifice. But I want to see whether I can trust you. Or whether you are one who, because you've never had a son before, and you waited 20 years, the rules of engagement works. I want to take you to another level. I want you to have additional blessing. And from addition, I want to move you to multiplication. And I want to give you transgenerational blessing. But before I do that, you have to go to the exam room. You got to go to exam room. You have to pass the test. Your faith must pass this test. And God said, I don't really need your son. I've made provision for the sacrifice. But I want to see whether I can trust you. Or whether you are one who, because you've never had a son before, and you waited 25 years, now that you have a son, you think you have arrived. And that is all that life is for you. And there are so many of you like that. When you come into money, influence, success, breakthrough, some opportunity, access that you've never had before, it gets into your head and your whole lifestyle changes. If you have 1 billion today and you are still the same, acting the same, serving the Lord, still doing things in the church like always, then you can be trusted. But if money and influence and position and elevation changes you, you didn't earn it. You are not qualified for it. You are an amateur and a kid and a child and a baby. And that thing will destroy you. And that's why there are so many who become big and huge in the ministry for a season. And it's a matter of time. And I've seen many rise and before. I've seen so many. Bishop Nyako will tell you. Bishop James will tell you. I've seen so many. And I hear so many things I don't talk about. And it's because people have risen. And for whatever reason, they want to be big. They want to have the numbers. They want to be huge. They want to beat everybody. They want to overtake everybody. And I stand by and I look at them. And I say, go ahead. Because some of the things people even contend with me over, I'm not interested in. I don't want it anymore. There are some opportunities people want to fight. And I just, no, don't fight me. You can have it. Take it. Take it. Why take it? Because I've gone past it. I don't want it anymore. So you don't have to fight me. Don't fight me. I'll give it to you. Just ask. You can take it. I've passed those things. I'm at a place where numbers don't impress me. The things, two of my sons, a few years ago, at my birthday, they came to me and said, Papa, we've deposited some money. We want to get you a Rolls Royce. Different times, two of them. And I said, you miss God. And they said, why? I said, right now, where I am, Rolls Royce is not my priority. I said, I need money for the Global Prayer Command Center and for the drug rehab. And one of them brought me something. The other one, he didn't mind me again. Me too, I didn't mind. Are you hearing me? But I'll tell you something. And I said to them, when I am 70 or 75, I will buy my own Rolls Royce, 2 doors, white and gold, and open top. And Sunday after church and after lunch, I will take Rosa with me and drive on the motorway and open the top. And I will just say, girl, talk to me. Come on, somebody. Oh, come on, put your hands together. Give God some praise. But right now, I'm not interested in Rolls Royce. Cars are not my priority. You know why? Some of you have Rolls Royce. I can go to the car park after service, and any car I see, I will stand there. When the owner comes and say, you've driven this car for a while, give me the key. And take Uber home. I'm using it for a while. When I'm ready, I'll let you have it. None of you can say no. Oh, no. You cannot say no. Are you hearing me? Say yes. So I have access to a lot of cars by faith that I don't need. Say, I hear you. You see, you come to a place of maturity and some things don't matter anymore. Things that used to matter, I heard that they put in some newspapers the the number of rich men of God in Africa, and one preacher was so angry because his name was not there. And I said, somebody told me, I didn't say anything. And he said, Papa, you are not, and I said, no, I'm not saying anything. Because ministry is not about riches. It's not about success or numbers. It's about how you finish. It's about how you finish. Are you hearing me? And hear me. Until you finish this race, you are not yet successful. Jesus said, it is finished. Paul said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. And then the Bible said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Until you hear that word, well done, thou good and faithful servant, you are not yet successful. And those of you who get up and you make everybody your father now, online, who have not fed you, didn't bring you up, have not invested anything into your life, and just because they are gifted and you see them online, they minister to you, suddenly they have become your spiritual father. You are a spiritual harlot. Because nobody holds you responsible. Nobody can father you online. Are you hearing me? Yeah. Those of you, my online sons or daughters, a lot of you have dealt with you over the years. You've known me over the years. So it's not an issue for you to be my sons and daughters online. But I'm talking about people who have never spoken into your life before. They've never built you up. They haven't been there. They don't know you. You don't know them. Some of you, you know me in and out. You know me. When I start preaching, you can predict where I'm coming from, where I'm going from. You know me. When I start worshiping, you know the songs I'll raise. You can figure me out, and me too, I can figure you out. We know each other. So stop all this. This guy, oh, he's powerful, he's this, he's this. Have you seen them going through affliction before? Have you seen them going through it? Have you seen how they respond when they are tested? Some of you, you've seen me in the midst of my trials, when I'm being tested, when I'm going through fire, when I'm going through affliction, when I'm going through it with my family and my loved ones. You've seen me, how I manage myself, how I still pray for you, how I still bless you in the midst of my trials. You've seen me. You've seen the way I manage myself in the midst of it. Hear me. Until the person you trust with your life with, until they've mastered and they've been through fire, and until they've been tested and tried, you don't know them. So be careful. Don't follow people based on their gifts, because Satan is also gifted. Everybody can be gifted. Satan also comes as an angel of light. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to people. There are very gifted people online. I'm also online, so listen to them. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but don't be foolish. Are you hearing me? You can go to town and have dinner. You can go to town and eat. But don't make a restaurant your constant place of eating. Have food in the house too. And don't throw away the food in the house. Just because you went out and you ate something and it was nicer than the food at home. And mister, sometimes the food you eat outside may be better than that of your wife, because the wives can't get it right all the time. And sometimes they have to also put more pepper in the food for you, because sometimes you are crazy. And they have to give you more pepper to wake you up. Sometimes they have to put more salt intentionally, and sometimes they miss it. But it's still the safest place for you to eat than going to eat at the restaurant. So, I'm not saying you shouldn't eat at the restaurant, because I'll be a fool to say you shouldn't eat at the restaurant, because I know you. Whether I say it or I don't say it, you still listen online, and it's fine. I have no issue with that. But you can go eat everywhere, but still come home and still eat home. Because the food in the house is better than what you eat online. Say, I hear you. Come on, somebody, say, I hear you.